Human methods have consistently stood out for their excessive nature. Admiral Talon flipped through several images on the large projected screen behind him, showcasing the Battle of Yavin 5. Humans referred to it as light bombardment. The image displayed 5 battle cruisers in orbit, all simultaneously unleashing orbital artillery on the terrorist stronghold known as the Keep. Over 2 megatons of ordnance were dropped on a 50-square-mile area. When asked about the severity of their approach, human ambassadors looked puzzled and remarked that it was simply the nature of orbital fire support. A screenshot of a human news website appeared behind the admiral. The bombardment was so insignificant that it barely registered as a footnote beneath another footnote labeled Human Volunteers. Support peacekeeping efforts for those who are not present a century ago. The self-proclaimed keepers of the sacred word were the most perilous terrorist group the galaxy had encountered in more than 50 years. To humans, they were merely an annoyance to be eliminated. One of the most notorious images in history depicted a human soldier surveying the devastation of New Colante. Above the city's charred remains, a small fleet of frigates hovered, unleashing autocannon fire at anything that dared to emerge from the debris. Amidst this chaos, the soldier appeared completely at ease, her rifle slung over her shoulder as she leaned casually against a tree. Reports indicate that this solitary soldier was among the first wave of drop troopers to land in New Colante. Both human and independent accounts suggest that she single-handedly eliminated at least 57 enemy combatants before being evacuated from the area. Shortly after this photo was taken, the entire city of New Colante and everything within a 200-mile radius was turned to glass by nuclear warheads. A picture of a human lawyer in court appeared on the screen as the Galactic Council attempted to prosecute humans for war crimes. The human lawyer pointed out 2 critical facts that led to the immediate dismissal of the trial. First, the Galactic Council had called upon humanity to address the Colon issue. Second, several deadly viruses were released from the New Conte Biological Research Facility in an effort to drive off human forces. The lawyer articulated the situation well, arguing that humanity faced the choice of losing a city or losing an entire planet. We chose to destroy the city before it could destroy itself. Admiral Talon took a long drink of water before continuing. I'd like to remind all of you that humans glassed New Colante as a concession. Humans originally claimed that they planned on glassing the entire continent and quarantining every system in a 15-light-year radius to prevent the spread of whatever diseases the Colon had cooked up. Not even that plan was considered overkill. At that moment, the crowd started to stir, overwhelmed by the command given to them. One young officer even raised her hand to interject. After a quick nod of appreciation from Admiral Talon, the officer began. "Isn't a 15-light-year quarantine considered overkill?" She audibly gulped and faltered slightly. Admiral Talon let out a chuckle as he changed the slide behind him. "If only we knew." Once more, the room fell into disarray. Whispers of disbelief filled the room as the admiral surveyed his surroundings, chuckling softly. The suggestion of a quarantine spanning 100 light-years was met with mixed reactions. Extreme, yet somehow reasonable. The murmurs faded into a stunned silence, and sensing he had their full attention, the admiral pressed on. This exchange served as a stark warning to the galaxy. Humanity might embrace the most absurd actions as entirely rational. Consequently, we significantly intensified our surveillance of human projects in the years, decades, and now centuries that followed. What we have uncovered is undeniably bizarre, yet also profoundly enlightening. The images shifted quickly and displayed a wide range of subjects and sizes. photographs of diplomats, engineering projects, battle fleets, and corporate logos. Administration insignia, backroom deals cover everything you need to know, and what follows is top-secret information. Anyone who leaks this will face a court-martial and potentially execution. However, it is crucial for you to view this information to understand the true nature of humanity. Pictures continued to swap randomly until finally a video started playing, and the dim lights in the enormous meeting hall faded to complete darkness. What appeared on the screen was truly monumental. Subtitles revealed a significant collection of human military assets gathered near an unusually large hypergate. The camera zooms and pans for an improved perspective. The count of observable human warships stands at 11,127, according to a GIA officer. Have you ever seen a battle group that large, GIA officer 2? In a history book. The hypergate starts to power up, GIA officer 1. Holy, did you see that? The star that the hypergate orbits is starting to darken as its energy gets drained. The camera starts to zoom in on the center of the hypergate. GIA Officer 2, zoom the camera in closer on that. That can't be correct. GIA Officer 1, I've already conducted the diagnostic twice. What we're observing is genuine. The gate is linked to a galaxy, and the analysis confirms it is not the Great Band Galaxy. GIA Officer 2, contact Overlord immediately. The situation has shifted. Admiral Talon wasted no time in explaining. Humanity has always been perceived as alien in its actions, beliefs, and capabilities, but it is now confirmed that they are genuinely alien in origin. Further intelligence gathering indicates that humanity is an intergalactic force of nature, exerting total control over at least 27 galaxies, and having a presence in at least 1,722 galaxies in various forms. Some estimates suggest they influence over 10,000 galaxies. Images of the galaxy megastructure, superfleet, along with those of megacorporation politicians and scientists, rapidly appeared on the screen. The sheer volume of information caused several officers in the audience to feel lightheaded. What we are confronting is a Type 3 civilization. To them, a million stars is merely a drop in the bucket. The light-year quarantine is merely routine. It's just another day at the office. The following slide caught everyone's attention, including the admirals. It displayed a map of the Great Rift of Althor. Just a decade ago, the Great Rift emerged, engulfing an entire star cluster. It required the united efforts of 157 species, humans among them, to prevent the deadly radiation from spreading across a cluster of 15,000 stars. The following slide plunged the room into complete chaos. Admiral Talon had to endure a full minute before his attempts to restore order were acknowledged by his flustered officer. The minds hushed, and the room descended into stillness. Fear grips them at the sight before their eyes as they gaze upon what humans deem overkill. This is the final image sent from Althor itself before the rift engulfed it. A hypergate channel from human space to Althor. The officers lost all professionalism and erupted in outrage simultaneously. Why would the humans do this? We regarded them as allies. We're doomed. God help us all. How could this be possible? The uproar ceased immediately with the appearance of the next image, a grotesquely disfigured figure, clearly in excruciating agony. A plague was displayed on the projected screen within the Althor sector. It only took one carrier of the disease to decimate an entire planet. The Council monitored the situation for months, and in the last 10 days before the rift's opening, 273 planets went completely dark. The humans recognized the problem, and even they were afraid. We pleaded for their assistance, and that was their response. On display was a quasar, an active supermassive black hole with enormous constructs channeling its energy into a beam of pure annihilation. This human hyperweapon is the most destructive device the universe has ever witnessed. They've harnessed the power of the quasar, focused it further, and employed it in situations where overkill is truly necessary. More images and details about the disease emerged on the screen. Humans refer to it as the scourge, a condition they have regrettably faced in galaxies beyond our own on multiple occasions. I can say with great certainty that it is the only thing I have ever known to affect a human. Admiral Talone took his time to scan the room before wrapping up his brief. I'm sure you're all curious about how to handle this information. Unfortunately, I must inform you that it holds no value for us. We exist at the mercy of humanity and could be wiped out just as easily.
My final piece of advice is this. Humans have consistently shown themselves to be helpful. They exhibit no signs of unwarranted aggression, honor treaties, and broker peace. They check all the boxes of a civilized species. What I'm saying is, under no circumstances should you oppose humanity. They know best and possess enough power to either enlighten us or blind us with it if they choose. What is standard practice for them could mean apocalypse for us. To them, overkill is equivalent to annihilating the entire universe. What I'm saying is, don't show up with a cruiser to a quasar fight. In short, don't anger the humans.